Well, as you can see here, I started putting my insulation in the walls, and it's always nice to get to this part. And I got most of the insulation downstairs and waiting for my insulation to come in for upstairs. But I will go ahead and start working on the downstairs here. The first thing I want to do is put in some of these nail plate covers. These are very important to put over all your wires, your plumbing. That way you don't have any nails going through into your electrical wire. Nothing worse than having a fresh job done and realizing, well, you drove a nail right through the electric. Once I get that done, I'm doing something a little bit different this time. So I'm doing what's called wainscoting, what I like to call poor man's wainscoting, because it's a way to save some money, but also look just exactly the same as some good quality wainscoting. So I'm actually going to be using some 1/2-inch plywood on the first 5 feet up, not 4 feet, but the first 5 feet off the ground here. And I kind of show different techniques and why I'm doing that, because one, I have a 9-foot wall, and I'm just doing something a little bit different to make it look more proportionally correct. And so the first thing I got to do here is once I get these cut is cut out some switch boxes and reset box just like you would for drywall. Now the next thing I'm going to do is grab another full 4x8 sheet of plywood and cut those down to 6-inch strips. So basically what I'm doing here is creating my own shiplap. And yes, I could have bought shiplap already made, but this is almost half the price and actually a better quality material. And I'm going to leave about an 1/8 or 1/16 gap, allow for expansion and things of that nature. And once you paint this, you'll never really notice behind it. So it actually turns out good. You could do a tongue and groove or lip type system, but not necessarily needed for this practical application. And for some of you things like, wait a second, that's not very fireproof, and wouldn't the whole house just burn down? Like, no, don't be silly now. No, we're going to be putting some paint over it that has a fireproof rating on it, so that does help a little bit. So, no, it's not a fire issue. Don't worry about that for all you experts out there that know everything. Don't worry. Everything's under control here. So basically what I'm doing is putting shiplap the rest of the way up here with my gap in it. As I slowly start putting these walls together here. And as you can tell there, I've got my window trim and some trim going around my doors. And also putting a 1x8 where the bottom half of the wainscoting is transitioning over to the shiplap. And just some different trim ideas and stuff that I'll come back and kind of touch up and make a little prettier down the road. But you can kind of get an idea and the concept of the look that we're going for here. Then, although we're still deciding whether we're going to stain or paint or all the above, don't know yet. But don't worry, I'm sure I'll make a video about it and you'll see it here soon. But this is how you can do a simple shiplap system or a wainscoting system by really just using plywood and 1x material. Again, it's far more cost effective. Maybe a little bit more work involved, a little bit more sanding, but it does help you save a lot of money, but give a nice high quality look. And I actually did a whole nursery type room at a church with this material. If you're interested, I'll put a link right here. That way you can see how that one was done. Basically the same exact concept as this, and you can kind of see what a finished product looks like already. Kind of give you a sneak peek what this one will kind of look like. So anyways, as I start trimming around these windows after I finish these last few pieces of basically my shiplap boards that I'm making, I'm going to move on to the trim around the windows. I'm just kind of doing this all at the same time. Two different ways you can do this. You can do the trim in place, or you can actually create the box. I kind of do both methods here just because, well, I get bored and like to do things differently every now and then. But this one, I'm just putting my trim on here, just simple 1x4. Same thing for the windows. I got pieces that I cut down to the correct width, which I think I got to cut off, I don't know, 1/4, 1/2 inch, whatever it was. And then here I am creating a box on the floor here. This is another way of doing it. Real simple. Just get your measurements, transfer it over to wood, cut them out, get your angles on there. You can glue and nail it together, and boom! Goes right in place. That simple, that easy. And it's very simple. That way you can kind of square it up on the window, and it can be done either way. Both ways are fun. Both ways are simple. But that is how you can trim around a window as well.